video, and in this video we're going to be having a look at Capsule's new feature, and the new feature is tracks on people and organizations. And this is a really exciting change because it means that we can start looking after our contacts, being reminded to do the things that we need to do to nurture the relationship way earlier in the customer journey. But it doesn't stop there, because we could also use tracks on people and organizations to reach out to potential partners, to look after and nurture relationships with our suppliers, or to do some general housekeeping on Capsule so that we have data in it that is meaningful and that we can analyse, and we can move forward with that knowledge. We can get some really good business information out to really make informed decisions about how to move forward with our business. So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you how a track looks and how it can be created. So here we are in the dashboard, and let's just imagine that we've just met somebody at a networking event. So we would click on add, and we could do this from the laptop or from our apps on our phones. But let's just put in somebody that we just met, just making this up, Jessica Brown, and maybe this is Jessica Consulting. And we would add Jessica Consulting as a new organization at the same time. And we might add a tag here, just prospect. We could track if we wanted to from this contact creation screen, but I'm going to show you where it is on a record, because you might want to add some tracks onto records that already exist in the system. So we click on save, and here on the right hand side above log activity we have add track. So we would maybe click on prospect nurture, and here's a track that I've created. So we might want to research the organization, so that we can talk to them in a meaningful way when we follow up. We might want to record any relevant information on Capsule, so a nice prompt there to have some good useful information so that we can analyze our data. And then we might have a couple of outbound calls, and then perhaps we want to be prompted to send an email, which we can do from a template within Capsule. And then we might want to record some follow-up activity, and we could do that by adding an ad hoc task. But here we have a really nice nurturing track which would sit on somebody that we had just met. And don't forget, when you add a track, you can also get Capsule to automatically add a tag at the same time, and we'll have a look at that when we go behind the scenes and create a track. And let's just pretend that Jessica Consulting is actually a previous client. So what we can do is we can add a track maybe to keep in touch with previous clients. So we might have a reminder to touch base and see how things are going. And then maybe 8 weeks after that, we might have a reminder to check in, see how they are. And then we might have a reminder maybe like in 6 months' time or something to say hi and to see how things are going. And just staying in contact with people that we've worked with like that is really valuable. They may refer us to somebody else, there may be more work to be done, but ultimately they feel that you're interested and they feel looked after, and they are going to think of you when they have a need for the services that you offer, or when they come across somebody else that has a need for the services that you offer. So to create a track, you go to your name, top right, click on account settings, scroll down to tracks. And rather than just having tracks on opportunity and projects, which we've had for a very long time now, we now have tracks on people and organizations. And you just click on add people and organization track, name the track, and let's call this test. And you can automatically add a tag here if you want to. And you can start the track from the beginning date of the track, or you can actually work back from a closing date, from an end date. So if you were organising an event, then this would be the type of track that you would use. And then you can add the tasks. So I'm just going to put in test 1, due 2 weekdays after the track starts, and then we can add the categories. So task categories are really powerful. Do add some different task categories to your account if you haven't already, because they are so very useful. You can really drill down into them and see what work you need to do for different people, organizations, opportunities and projects. And you can even assign this task to another user on your CRM if you had multiple users. And we would click on add. And then what you can do is add a second task, and that might be a couple of days after the first one. So maybe 2 weekdays after the last task, and it's another contact nurturing. And here we have a very simple track with just 2 tasks in. We press save. And then if we popped back to Jessica Consulting, and if we added the track test, then you'll see a new tag has been added automatically, and we have this second track on Jessica's record. So there's some really useful bits and pieces here. We can enhance our system by adding tracks. We can nurture contacts early on in the customer journey. We can add different task categories, and we can automatically add a tag. Now that tag could be a data tag, which means that a whole series of custom fields could pop up that are only relevant to that tag. So there's some really cool stuff that can be done, retaining information and capturing particular bits of data based on the tag that has been added to the organization or the person by using that track. And that can be done in opportunities and projects as well. So I hope you have found this video useful. I'm Julia Blake and I help business owners do more of what they love. Let me know if you have any questions, but thank you for watching.